Yeah, you keep saying that, but that doesn't mean we're in a housing shortage.
What are you talking about? Of course we are.
All right, so the people want to know, is there a housing shortage in the United States right now?
Yeah, there is a housing shortage in the US because we are 3.8 million units underbuilt. That means that we have that much demand that's necessary to get filled, and at the current rate of building 500,000 units in the country, which is what we're currently doing, it's going to take forever to catch up because the demand for housing is going to keep happening. People are born, people die, people get divorced, people want to move, they want to move to the sun, they want to leave colder areas, they get relocated for their job, a bunch of reasons why.
And this isn't like a sudden thing, right? This isn't
No,
like all of a sudden?
Good question. It's definitely not sudden. This has been happening since the Great Recession, which is now 15 years old or 16 years old at this stage. So no, it did not just happen.
Yeah. And why, I mean, you kind of touched on this, but why do you think there's a lack of affordable housing in the US?
I think there's a lack of affordable housing in the US because it was ignored by many administrations, Democrat and Republican, over the years. You know,
Yeah, let's not get political.
Okay,
We shouldn't do that.
you're right.
Just kidding.
You're
Keep
right.
going. Sorry to interrupt.
We shouldn't get political, but unfortunately, the two parties run our country, and with the yin and the yang, which is healthy in itself, I agree. But to not get political, it's been ignored. It hasn't been the shiny object, and we're back talking about abortion from 50 years ago. And instead of talking, I'm not saying that's wrong, we should talk about it, but we've ignored the need for housing and affordable housing at that. And cities like Philadelphia, where we live and we're around that, it impacts the whole greater Philadelphia area, South Jersey, Northern Delaware, and Southeastern Pennsylvania. We have a serious lack of housing and livable housing. We have neighborhoods falling apart that need to be regentrified and provide housing for people.
Yeah. Okay, so how do we fix the shortage, the housing shortage?
One thing is to repurpose the housing we already have. In a place like Philadelphia, we have tons of housing already built after the World War I, after World War II, when those men came home from the wars with some money and looked to rebuild their lives and build families. The housing was built for them at the time. Some of that housing is crumbling now. Some of that housing is in need of rehab and refurb. And now, since our most recent crisis of the pandemic, we have a lot of commercial building that's going on that's sitting empty. We need to repurpose that commercial space into affordable housing if we can, through tax credits, through rezoning of those areas to make it from a commercial district to a residential district.
Yeah, and a lot of people, you'll hear a lot of people say, like, the housing market is crazy right now, whatever, spring market's right around the corner. Why do you think people should be motivated to list their house in this spring market, 2023?
Yeah, I think they should because, number one, a lot of people have equity built up in their home that they can take advantage of. So they bought it for $50,000, $100,000, $200,000, and that house is now worth $200,000, $400,000, $1 million. So they have that equity built up in the house that they can now gain again, take back out of the house. It's okay sitting there, and as long as houses keep going up in value, which we think they will, fine, then it should be safe, we hope. But as mortgages gets paid down, as the house goes up in value, you have all this equity you're sitting on. And that's why they need to call Ronan Higgins and Tom Higgins from the Higgins team at Keller Williams and have us come out and talk to you about what your house is worth, how we can show you how to gain the most out of the equity in your house, and then put it towards whatever you need in life and whatever your plans and goals are. We're here to help you with that.
I agree. You don't want to miss out on the spring market. There's going to be a lot more buyers, a lot more sellers.
Yeah, and with the lack of inventory, it comes back to the supply and demand thing. We don't have much supply, which means the demand is great. So you can take advantage of that, of the great demand, and we can help you maximize your profits and maximize your equity, and you can move on in life and you'll be happy with the Higgins team.
Great. Well, I think that's all for today.
All right, Ronan, pleasure working with you.
Good stuff.
So long for now.
Sláinte.